Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Sagittarius March 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant anyway. First thing off is, as far as March goes, the sun will be in Pisces from the 1st until the 20th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. There could be very strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's home, family, those close to home, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, one's roots, ancestry, the end or latter part of life, and who you are at the core, emotional security. All these things can be included. Now, this is something, given that this is Pisces energy. Now, this could be done with a lot of idealism, a lot of compassion and altruism, and especially with matters pertaining to one's family members, those you may be close to home with. And also, too, this could be a time where there may be some focus in some cases on something that's deceptive or duplicitous in connection with one's roots, ancestry, or their family life. So it's just something to look at as far as this goes. Now, and anyway, this could also be done with, looking at this too, it could be as well done with a lot of very strong emotion. And there may be some intuition as well at this time. And there might be a strong focus of who you are at the core, and you might be seeing a lot of these Pisces qualities that may be deep down. Could be very compassionate, altruistic, self-sacrificing, maybe a little bit more emotional than maybe you realize, more sensitive. So anyway, the next thing up. As far as March goes, the sun will be in Aries from the 20th until the 31st. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on love, romance, fun, amusement, enjoyment, one's personal popularity, hobbies, games, sports even, and also perhaps even gambling, speculation as well. And given that this is Aries energy, this may be done with a lot of assertive energy, very aggressively, a lot of initiative and enterprise. There's likely going to be very little hesitation or procrastination in 5th house matters. In some cases, this could be some focus, perhaps on some contentious issue, perhaps with a child or a romantic partner at this time, or one that might seem somewhat combative or acrimonious. This could also be done with a lot of impetuous and impatient energy. So it just it's important to just make sure. And I mean, Aries energy could be very impulsive. So just be careful at this time. You're focusing on some kind of sports. It could be where you want to be very careful, not being overly aggressive to the point where you might inadvertently injure yourself, or being overly impatient, such as trying to bench press a weight that might be something that might be a little bit too heavy for you, that might cause some kind of injury inadvertently. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. And also, these 5th house matters may be done with a lot of courage and fortitude. And the gambling, especially if you are a gambler, just be careful, because, again, Aries energy could be very impulsive and impetuous, and you want to kind of look before you leap, so to speak, when you're talking about Aries energy. Anyway, next thing up, there will be a new moon in Pisces on March 6th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, while some cases this could be getting that new dream home, perhaps it could be a new Pisces family member. If it's a child that's born at this time, of course, it will be a Pisces sun and moon person. And this could be a time too where perhaps This is a new period, maybe, of being aware and cognizant who you are at the core. I mean, it could be where you're maybe you're expressing these qualities, where you're starting to express them more, such as like Pisces, like idealism, um, perhaps more compassion, altruism, more forgiveness, more self-sacrificing energy. And also, too, this could be a new connection, maybe with somebody. Could be a Pisces person that you feel close to home with. It could be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Pisces-like characteristics. And also, too, this could be a period where you start perhaps more self-sacrificing energy in terms of getting in touch with roots and ancestry. I mean, if you're doing this, say, for a family member, it could be something where you're willing to spend the money for that person in doing so. And really, and also, too, and this is a period, too, I mean, this is something where, I mean, you look at the fourth house. The fourth house is also connected with the latter part of life, that end of life period. So it could be a time where you're beginning to maybe start to fantasize, or at least maybe make those manifest those dreams, so to speak, of where you want to be at that latter part of your life as far as that goes. So those are some things to look at this time. And it could be a time, too, where you might start to do something, Pisces, related out of the home. It could be something connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, something with spirituality, poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, anything that could be Pisces related. Anyway, next thing up. There will be a full moon in Libra on March 20th, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this point in time, well, one way this may manifest, this could be the completion or culmination of a Libra aspiration or goal. It could be something connected. Maybe you've reached that point where maybe you've become maybe something as far as a position. You become like an attorney or something else that's connected with something legal or the law, such as a paralegal or bailiff or judge, or maybe you retire from that position. It could be something where, I mean, you might end something connected with arbitration field, or something with art, such as sculpting, drawing, or painting. It might be something where maybe you've completed artwork at this point in time. As just as well, I mean, this could also be about perhaps becoming tired, full, exasperated at perhaps somebody, maybe a friend or an acquaintance, someone you know in a group, club, or organization that's showing a lot of superficial charm, or being overly ambivalent and indecisive, maybe too peace-loving or passive. Or it could be somebody, too, that if it's in some kind of group situation, that maybe you're getting tired of this person, maybe because you're sensing that he or she may have just joined the group not for the right reasons, but maybe just ingratiated his or herself into it just to build some kind of social status, or to become, just for the sake of connecting with others, and for relationships, as opposed to doing something for the collective good, or whatever the purpose of the group was. Now also, too, and it could also be an unveiling or revelation of maybe of that energy as well, because remember that the full moon in astrology can be about unveilings and revelations. So anyway, this could be another way this may manifest too. This could also be perhaps the completion of a reconciliation or compromise that you may reach with some kind of with a friend, with an acquaintance. It could be a stepchild in some cases, if applicable, someone you know in a group, club, or organization. Or it could be maybe the end of some kind of negotiation, or maybe a legal settlement reaches a conclusion with some friend that you may know. Or it could be a stepchild, it could be an acquaintance, somebody. Or it could even be somebody maybe in some 11th house type profession, such as astrology, or somebody that's an innovator, somebody that, or a humanitarian, position, something. It could be with somebody just simply 11th house related. So anyway, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Pisces, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It's going to be retrograde from like the 6th until like the 29th, so it's going to be retrograde for the majority of the month. But anyway, well, one way this may manifest, this could be about some ambiguous and cryptic communications you may have with family members, people you're close to home with. It could be as well in ones that could be somewhat deceptive or duplicitous as well. As I've talked about previously, Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be about Pisces siblings. They could be Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Pisces-like characteristics that might figure prominently more so than usual in your home life, your family life, perhaps your emotional security. It could be something too where, again, I mean, another thing about Mercury is that Mercury could also be about thieves. And Mercury, I mean, when you're talking about Pisces energy, this could be people that could be good because they could good thieves because they could be deceptive and duplicitous and put on and be very chameleon-like. And it's really and they could, this is something because you're talking about the 4th house. It could be something where they can impact in terms of maybe somebody taking something out of your home. You might be more susceptible to that at this time. And of course, the 4th house is about emotional security, so you can do the math on that one. Now, a lot of this, there could be a greater propensity for this. Say if this transit, let's say this is making an adverse aspect, say to your Venus, for example, you might be more susceptible perhaps to maybe monetary loss due to thieves, or I mean, in some cases this could be just as well. I mean, let's say if it's maybe by some chance it's squaring your 2nd house cusp, could be another example. But anyway, I mean, there's, and also if there's just things in your chart, in your natal chart, that give you greater propensity for this activity. But the thing about this is, it could also be about thinking about maybe qualities that Pisces qualities that you may have at the core, such as being compassionate, altruistic, self-sacrificing, idealistic, but at the same time maybe a little bit nebulous or unclear or overly ambivalent. Now, and given it's going to be retrograde for the majority of the month, this could be a time where you might be doing a lot of mental review over whether maybe you're being overly idealistic or whether it's just simply being idealistic or unrealistic regarding 4th house matters, such as where maybe you want to be at the end or latter part of life if you're not there yet. So those are, and also you might be thinking a lot about getting that ideal home at this time as well, if you don't currently have one. So those are some things to look at. Anyway, next thing up, Venus will be in Aquarius as far as March goes from the 1st until the 26th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, this could be about valuing your future communications and maybe even really valuing communications that are connected with Aquarius things, such as innovations, new technology, aerospace, astrology, astronomy. And also, this could be a time too where you may be valuing really a lot, or just wanting a lot of a more peaceful, amicable situations with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors at this time, maybe even people from your early education perhaps. And also too, if you're unattached at this time, Sagittarius, you might find yourself where you might connect with Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics that might be in your neighborhood, and maybe somebody that's introduced to you from a cousin or sibling, or somebody that you meet perhaps during your short journeys or just doing local transportation. Now, also too, Another way this may manifest, this could be about enjoyment of this could be about enjoying Aquarius-like things in your neighborhood and with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors, things connected with innovation or aerospace. It could even be something with model rockets or something with radio-controlled objects. Another way this may manifest, this could be about thinking, really doing in terms of allowing the internet, learning. This could be a time looking at this where you might just decide where you're valuing more, maybe learning from the internet at this time, or enjoyment learning from the internet and your computer at this point in time. So those are some ways, ways that this could pan out. So anyway, last but not least, Venus will be in Pisces as far as March goes from the 26th until the 31st. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, one way this may manifest, this could be a time where you might be valuing more your dream home, or even or forgiveness with your family and people you may be close to home with. This could be about valuing perhaps peace and even lethargy at this time in your home life, and you might feel really at home with that. This could be something where another way of looking at this could be about wanting really about peace at the latter part of life, and really in having a peaceful and passive type existence, so to speak, at the latter part or end of life period if you're not there already. This could be about loving yourself at the core, loving perhaps Pisces-like qualities such as all being altruistic, compassionate, sensitive, empathetic, maybe even intuitive to some degree. It could also be about another way this may manifest. If you're unattached at this time, Sagittarius, you might connect with a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Pisces characteristics. It could be someone you feel close to home with. It could be somebody that might figure prominently at that latter or end of life period for you. So that could have certain potential to be a significant other. Now, it's also, also about, again, this could be about, Venus is also about enjoyment. This could also manifest in enjoying Pisces-like things out of the home, such as the metaphysical, which could include astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, even maybe fictional writing, things that are associated with fantasy, such as like playing Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy games. And again, a lot of that, going back to, if you're an attached Sagittarius, if it's a time where you may be able to connect again with a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies those characteristics. A lot of that could be dependent and predicated on aspects that are made of points in your chart, say if it makes a positive sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter. That could increase that possibility or propensity for that. So a lot of it is dependent on the aspects that are made to points in your chart. Anyway, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Sagittarius March 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Sagittarius March 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.